A shocking discovery has forced Dr. Caitlin Todd to abandon her plans to leave the Emmerdale village. Only days earlier, Caitlin learned she had inherited her late father's property. However, she quickly realized she didn't have the money needed to renovate it, leading her to blackmail Charity Dingle in a desperate attempt to secure more cash. Dr. Todd demanded that Charity hand over £10,000, or she would expose the truth to Jacob Gallagher and Sarah Sugden that baby Leyla is not really their child. Charity managed to gather only £5,000 and attempted to intimidate Caitlin into dropping the demand for the remaining money. Before leaving the village, Dr. Todd shared lunch with Manpreet Sharma at the Hyde. Nearby, Ryan Stocks was busy sorting out paperwork connected to the pub. As Manpreet chatted with Ryan, Caitlin overheard enough to discover that Charity actually owns half of the Woolpack. Up until that moment, she had believed Charity was simply employed there as a barmaid. Furious after realizing she had been deceived, Caitlin increased her demand and informed Charity that keeping the secret hidden would now cost £100,000. In today's episode, the manipulative doctor took pleasure in reminding Charity that the money was still owed. During their heated exchange, Sarah approached and questioned why they were discussing finances. Thinking quickly, Charity lied and claimed she had damaged Dr. Todd's car. Desperate to raise the money quickly, Charity later attempted to persuade Caleb and Ruby Milligan to purchase the pub from her. Caleb immediately sensed something was seriously wrong, because Charity would never normally consider selling her share unless she was facing major trouble. Despite his concerns, Charity refused to reveal the truth. Even so, Caleb reassured Charity that he would always support her, no matter what happened. Unfortunately, Dr. Todd secretly witnessed the conversation and decided to remind Charity yet again who truly held the power. Back at Jacob's fold, Charity walked downstairs and was horrified to discover Dr. Todd inside her home, holding baby Leyla in her arms. Caitlin chillingly commented that newborn babies should never be left alone because terrible things could happen at any moment. In that instant, Charity had no idea how far Dr. Todd might actually go. Although Caitlin eventually handed the baby back safely, the disturbing moment clearly served as a warning. Whether she genuinely intended to harm Leyla or not, she successfully made Charity understand that she was completely in control of the situation. Dr. Todd has now given Charity only 1 week to produce the remaining money. Facing such an impossible deadline, Charity decides to approach Kim Tate and ask whether she would be willing to buy her share of the pub. However, the situation may not be that simple. Kim is unlikely to agree to the deal without becoming suspicious about why Charity suddenly wants out of the Woolpack. But if Kim refuses the offer altogether, could Charity's nightmare become even worse? Emmerdale could be preparing for another huge exit storyline after Monday's episode appeared to hint that Dawn Fletcher may soon flee the village, leaving Joe Tate behind. The latest drama pushed Dawn even deeper into danger as her secret revenge mission against Joe continued to unravel. For several weeks, Dawn has secretly teamed up with Moira and Kane in a scheme to ruin Joe and take control of his fortune after learning about his role in Moira's imprisonment. The situation has become far more complicated because Dawn is pregnant with Joe's child, leaving her torn between fear, guilt, and the desperate hope of escaping his control. Monday's episode added even more tension to the storyline. Earlier in the show, Robert approached Joe for help after a suspicious fire broke out at the farm. Viewers already know the blaze was started deliberately by an unknown culprit, although Robert believes it may be a warning from enemies still targeting him. Joe, however, showed little sympathy and remained dismissive throughout the conversation. When Robert suggested filing an insurance claim and fitting CCTV cameras, Joe humiliated him in front of Dawn and Clemmy before ordering him to leave. But one particular comment soon carried a much darker meaning. During a conversation about business, Clemmy repeated Joe's harsh attitude by declaring that little people don't call the shots. The remark visibly unsettled Dawn and served as another reminder of the influence Joe has over both her and the children. Later at the Woolpack, Tensions rose again when Joe appeared to mock Kane over his recent prostate surgery, adding even more hostility to the growing feuds surrounding him in the village. However, the biggest moment came near the end of the episode, when Moira begged Dawn to take the children and leave the village before the situation spiraled completely out of control. Moira urged her to grab whatever she could and disappear as quickly as possible, even promising to explain everything to Billy herself. The emotional scene strongly hinted that Dawn may finally be preparing to escape Home Farm, reigniting rumours about Olivia Bromley's future on the ITV soap. Speculation about the actress potentially leaving the programme first surfaced earlier this year. Reports in March claimed Olivia had allegedly been written out after spending 8 years portraying Dawn Taylor, later Dawn Fletcher. According to claims published by The Sun, the reported decision created anxiety among cast members during wider behind-the-scenes changes affecting both Emmerdale and Coronation Street. A source reportedly claimed that Olivia was extremely popular with the cast, and that her possible departure made many actors fear nobody's position on the show was secure. ITV has not officially confirmed whether Olivia is leaving and has refused to comment on the reports. Still, upcoming scenes suggest Dawn's future is becoming increasingly dangerous. A recently released spoiler clip shows Dawn unconscious at the bottom of the staircase at Home Farm, following a terrifying fall. Graham later discovers her lying motionless and desperately checks for signs of life before calling an ambulance, while Joe ominously appears at the top of the stairs moments later. The scenes raise one major question. Could Joe uncover Dawn's betrayal before she manages to escape? The rumoured departure is also believed to be connected to ITV's recent scheduling overhaul. Earlier this year, the broadcaster introduced a new soap schedule which moved Emmerdale to 8 p.m. ahead of Coronation Street. The changes arrived alongside the major crossover storyline known as Corrydale, which featured several dramatic exits. Reports have claimed that budget cuts and reduced episode output have created uncertainty behind the scenes. However, even if Dawn eventually leaves the village, plenty of major drama is still planned for the months ahead. Several high-profile returns are reportedly being lined up, including Patsy Kensit reprising her role as Sadie King in what producer Laura Shaw has teased as an explosive comeback. Other names rumoured to return include Tracy Shankly and Victoria Sugden following their maternity breaks, although nothing has been officially confirmed. For Dawn, though, the future looks more dangerous than ever. Will she finally escape Joe's grip? Or could Home Farm become the place where everything falls apart forever? Emmerdale will finally uncover a huge secret about Cami Hadid next week, as he becomes the prime suspect in the mysterious farm fires. At the same time, Cami struggles to keep hidden the truth that he has secretly been homeless. Things take a dramatic turn when Robert Sugden and Aaron Dingle catch Cami carrying a petrol can and lighter near the farm. The discovery immediately convinces them they have found the person responsible for the recent series of fires. Although Cami desperately insists he is innocent, Robert and Aaron are far from convinced by his explanation. Shebs Meyer, who plays Cami, explained that the accusation triggers painful memories for the character and leaves him overwhelmed with humiliation and frustration. According to the actor, Cami has endured a difficult life, and the situation forces him to relive some of his darkest experiences. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is available to stream on ITVX.